Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit.
Fabio Quartararo has offered an unexpectedly positive outlook on Toprak Razgatlioglu's prospects ahead of his full-time MotoGP debut in 2026 after witnessing the Turkish star's first laps during the 2025 postseason test at the Ricardo Tormo circuit in Valencia. According to the Frenchman, Razgatlioglu's immediate ability to deliver competitive speed is a clear sign that he could become a serious contender much earlier than most had predicted, particularly as he joins the factory-supported Prima Premax racing setup next year. The official postseason test on the 18th of November 2025 brought together the full 2025 MotoGP grid, including rookies such as Toprak Razgatlioglu and Diego Moreira, who were all tasked with evaluating an array of technical developments ahead of the 2026 campaign. For Yamaha, the test marked a crucial moment in the evolution of their new V4 engine, an ambitious shift from their long-standing inline-4 philosophy and the primary focus of Quartararo and his crew throughout the day. Despite the intense workload in the Yamaha pit box, Quartararo admitted he hadn't had the opportunity to speak to Razgatlioglu directly. Nevertheless, he was left impressed when reviewing the timesheets. "I was quite surprised by how fast he was. I think next year he'll be better than I expected," Quartararo commented. Razgatlioglu ended the day with a best lap of 1:30.667, placing him 18th overall, just 1.2 seconds adrift of pace-setter Ralf Fernandez. More impressively, he finished ahead of Yamaha's two other riders, Alex Rins and Jack Miller, despite being completely new to the M1 and the MotoGP environment. As a rookie stepping onto the V4-powered M1 for the first time, Razgatlioglu faced an enormous adaptation challenge. Even so, he logged 53 laps and produced several consistent stints in the 13-13-1 bracket, numbers that Yamaha insiders describe as exceptionally encouraging for a debutant. His manager and mentor Kanan Sofu emphasized that the Turkish rider had yet to unleash his full potential. Because Razgatlioglu only had one bike available for the test, he approached the run with considerable caution to avoid compromising the schedule with a crash. Even so, Sofuoglu expressed strong confidence that Toprak's signature late braking craft, renowned as the most aggressive and effective in World SK, will become a key weapon in MotoGP. "After a few more laps, we will see the real Toprak. He still has a lot of room to improve," Sofuoglu insisted. Similar praise came from Pramac team manager Gino Borsoi, who highlighted Toprak's exceptional braking capability despite still familiarizing himself with Michelin tires and an entirely new machine philosophy. Sofuoglu has subtly suggested that Razgatlioglu should aim to become Yamaha's strongest performer in 2026. That target, however, will inevitably place him shoulder to shoulder with Quartararo, one of the fastest and most consistent riders in the current field. Quartararo, while full of respect, remains aware that his new rival has the talent to become a threat even in his rookie season. While Razgatlioglu's performance generated plenty of excitement, Quartararo was keen to stress that Yamaha's new V4 engine still suffers from notable shortcomings. Front-end stability, outright power, and rear tire grip remain the three main areas in need of urgent refinement. "The bike isn't stable enough, we lack power, and the grip still feels different. We're missing many things," Quartararo explained. He remarked that Yamaha are still in the early stages of understanding the behavior and character of their radically redesigned engine. As such, data collected during the Valencia test will play a pivotal role in deciding the next phase of development before the 2026 season opener. Toprak Razgatlioglu's MotoGP debut has been one of the most anticipated transitions in recent years. What unfolded in Valencia supports the belief that his skill set, particularly his unparalleled braking prowess, can carry over to MotoGP machinery far more seamlessly than some skeptics had assumed. A lap time within 1.2 seconds of the leader on day one on a brand new motorcycle with a V4 configuration he has never experienced before speaks volumes about his natural adaptability. His speed relative to experienced Yamaha riders underscores not only his potential, but the possibility that Yamaha's new project may suit him more quickly than expected. On Yamaha's side, the V4's current struggles were not unexpected. The brand is essentially relearning MotoGP machinery from the ground up after decades of inline-4 philosophy. Quartararo's comments reveal that the team still faces a steep development curve. Front-end feedback, power delivery, and mid-corner stability are foundational elements that must be resolved before Yamaha can realistically fight for podiums again. Crucially, the dynamic between Quartararo and Razgatlioglu is shaping up to be one of 2026's most compelling narratives. Quartararo senses a real challenger emerging, while Razgatlioglu appears poised to carry his fierce competitive spirit from World SBK into MotoGP. If Yamaha managed to unlock more performance from the V4 platform, the internal fight between these two aggressive late-breaking riders could become a headline storyline throughout the season. Beyond the raw lap times, what stood out most from Razgatlioglu's first MotoGP appearance was his remarkable composure. Many riders transitioning from World SBK tend to over-push early in their adaptation, often resulting in avoidable falls. Toprak, however, demonstrated maturity beyond expectation, opting instead to build confidence step by step. This measured approach indicates a rider who understands the long-term picture rather than chasing headline pace on day one. Another aspect worth noting is how quickly Razgatlioglu appeared to adjust his body positioning and corner entry technique, both of which demand significant adaptation when switching from production-based superbikes to prototype machines. Engineers from Pramac observed that his natural instinct to stabilize the bike under hard braking, once considered a trait unique to World SBK machinery, translated surprisingly well to the M1, even with its radically different weight distribution and aerodynamic package. The test also highlighted an interesting contrast between Yamaha's two projects, the brand new V4 engine and the incoming riders tasked with mastering it. While Quartararo struggled with front-end confidence, Razgatlioglu's style seemed to mask some of the bike's weaknesses. This dynamic may prove beneficial for Yamaha in the long run, as it provides two very different data sets to accelerate their understanding of the new platform. One from a rider craving stabilization, and one from a rider skilled at exploiting instability to his advantage. No one inside the Valencia paddock expected the shift that was about to unfold. It began with a single line on a timing sheet, subtle, almost forgettable, yet it carried enough weight to change how Yamaha viewed their future, how Fabio Quartararo assessed his role, and how every rival rider recalculated the threat of a newcomer many believed would need months, if not years, to adapt. But what emerged from those first laps didn't fit the usual rookie script. Something stranger and far more disruptive had begun. And by the end of the day, the paddock understood one thing with absolute clarity. Toprak Razgatlioglu had arrived not as a rookie, but as a storm. The morning air at Ricardo Tormo carried a sense of routine. The postseason test always felt the same. Mechanics warming engines, riders greeting engineers, teams carrying clipboards filled with optimism and fear. Yet beneath that normalcy, curiosity lingered around one garage, the new Prima Pramac-supported Yamaha project. The team had a fresh V4 machine, a radical departure from decades of Yamaha tradition, and they had entrusted part of its future to a rider many still misunderstood. Toprak rolled into pit lane with a calm expression, but behind that calm, pressure simmered. This wasn't just his MotoGP debut. It was the moment years of speculation finally collided with reality. Some insiders whispered he wouldn't find the adaptation easy. Others quietly believed his unique riding style could break the mold. Fabio Quartararo was focused on his own program, wrestling with Yamaha's newborn V4 engine. But when he first glanced at the timing screens, his expression shifted. He didn't speak to Toprak that day, not yet, but he didn't need to. A number on the screen had already said enough. By lunch break, people in the paddock were talking, not loudly, but enough for rumors to circulate. Toprak wasn't behaving like a rookie, he looked like a threat. While the world focused on the fresh faces entering MotoGP, the deeper story unfolding inside Yamaha carried far more turbulence. After decades of faith in their inline-four philosophy, the Japanese manufacturer made a decision that internally felt like tearing down a temple. They would build a V4. It wasn't evolution, it was rebirth. But rebirth came with its own chaos. Engineers struggled to understand power delivery that behaved nothing like the M1 of old. The front end lacked stability, especially at corner entry. The rear grip fluctuated without clear explanation. And Quartararo, Yamaha's cornerstone, found himself demanding answers engineers still didn't have. From the moment Toprak left pit lane, engineers from multiple garages instinctively leaned forward. There was no arrogance in his opening laps, only calculation. He didn't attempt aggressive late-braking maneuvers immediately. He didn't search for heroics. He was simply learning. And yet, the times climbed faster than anyone expected. 53 laps later, the math spoke for him. 1:30.667, just 1.2 seconds off the fastest man of the day. On his very first outing, on a brand new bike, with one machine available, meaning every mistake could destroy an entire test. Even more staggering, his final position put him ahead of both Alex Rins and Jack Miller, two riders with years of MotoGP experience. Toprak's closest confidants, including Kenan Sofuoglu, insisted that the braking performance the world saw in World SBK wasn't yet visible, not fully. He was still adapting to Michelin tires, still learning carbon brakes, still respecting the limitations of having only one bike. But even at half force, the fragments of his signature technique were unmistakable. On several laps, engineers noticed something remarkable. Toprak could stabilize the V4-powered M1 under deceleration better than riders who had spent years developing Yamaha's previous inline-4 setup. His ability to throw the rear of the bike into controlled chaos, letting it dance, slide, pivot, allowed him to carry speed where others rolled off. Fabio spoke with respect when journalists approached him. He praised Toprak's speed. He admitted he was impressed. But those who knew him best sensed something deeper under the surface. This wasn't the typical rookie lifts pressure off feeling. This was the realization that a genuine internal threat might be forming. Quartararo was already frustrated with Yamaha's early V4 issues, front-end vagueness, mid-corner instability, inconsistent rear grip. Pushing his own limits without confidence made the day longer, heavier, more draining. Then he saw Toprak's name placed ahead of two Yamaha riders who already knew the MotoGP environment. The first joint data session between Fabio's side of the garage and Toprak's revealed something Yamaha didn't expect. Their styles were opposites, and those opposites created a development paradox. Fabio needed stability. He wanted predictability from the front, consistency from the rear, and a smoother transition through the middle of the corner. His feedback demanded structural refinement, engineering discipline, not improvisation. Toprak did the opposite. He absorbed instability. He used it. He controlled the rear slide and exploited the M1's unpredictable traits to his advantage. Riders arriving from World SBK often need months to unlearn habits from production-based machinery, but Toprak erased those habits almost instantly. His body positioning shifted naturally. His corner entry posture adapted within the first hour. He adjusted to the Michelin front tire, a component that historically punishes the unfamiliar with surprising ease. Pramac engineers estimated he was using only a fraction of his true braking force. His telemetry showed untapped zones, areas where he clearly held back to avoid risking his only bike. When the engines fell silent and the garages began to pack up, the real conversations finally started. Yamaha had gathered enough data to understand their situation, and it wasn't simple. They were building a brand new motorcycle, still raw and unstable. They were bringing in a new star who adapted faster than expected. And they were balancing the expectations of a former world champion who now sensed a rising threat from inside his own camp. The dynamic between Quartararo and Toprak was no longer hypothetical. It was real. It was forming faster than Yamaha anticipated, and it could evolve into the central storyline of the 2026 season.